Hello everybody! If you just arrived to the channel series, my name is Jose and my friends call me Hose, and welcome to the third video. We're currently creating a step-by-step PowerPoint modern slide deck or slideshow that can be used in any business setting, class presentation, or anything else you can think of. Today we're going to be covering this third PowerPoint slide in which there's no fancy animation. It's just a quick overlook on how to display some of your content. You can use this to display statements, benefits, problems, or anything else, bullet list in the traditional format, and get it into a graphical display. You can get the whole PowerPoint presentation slide if you want in the description below. Now let's open a blank PowerPoint presentation. Or if you have one working, you can just continue using one. Let's open a blank PowerPoint presentation, or in your case, continue the one that you were working on. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all these placeholders. Then I'm going to go here to the design, click on format background, and make the background darker. We're going to click here on solid fill unless it's already selected. Click on color and select a darker background. Already have it selected. And we're going to do this because this allows us to create some sort of contrast with the background that we're going to be using. Then we're going to click and insert shapes, rectangle, and draw a rectangle full width of the whole PowerPoint slide. And we're going to change its fill to any color you want. It can be this blue grayish thing. And let's remove the shape outline. No outline. This is going to get a better effect overall. Now we do need some aid from pictures, and in this case I googled a couple of pictures, but I'm just going to take anything just for the sake of taking it. Let's come here and let's paste the full image. You can see now it's a little bit big. This is good because what we're going to do is that we're going to stretch it all the way to the top. And now that we have it, we're going to crop it. I'm going to right click and then click on crop. I believe in older versions of PowerPoint you can click on format, and then you're going to see the crop here at the right. And what we want to do is that we want to crop the image to a certain size. We position it however we want, and when we have the right fit, we just click outside and that's it. Remember from our previous videos that whenever you want to darken an image, as it is the one that we have in here, we have to create what we call the mask, or basically an overlay to the image ourselves, because PowerPoint does not currently have that as a feature. We do that by coming again to insert, shapes, rectangle, and drawing a rectangle the same size as our image. And we draw it on top, and format shape widget comes to the right. Well, the right pane comes out. We click on solid fill, go to color, and you want to have a dark color by itself. We can use black, we can use a darker blue, whichever you want. And the trick comes by applying transparency. When I apply transparency, I don't know why this is kind of broken. Oh, okay. When I apply transparency, we want to achieve something darker. We don't want to have it completely transparent because that's having the image. We just want something around 40%, 60%. You tweak it as good as you want it to be. Then we remove the outline of the masking so it becomes natural. Once we have that, we start to see how it starts to look like this one, and we can safely apply some text to it. Select the text box, go to shapes, again insert shapes, text box. We have our text box and say this is a PowerPoint demonstration. it does not look good if we have the dark text. Going to select it, click on the font color and turn it into white. We want to increase its size so people can see it and centralize it. If you remember from our previous video, there was one good technique in order for us to centralize this piece of text with the background itself. And that is by using PowerPoint's automatic centralization technique, which I've added to the quick access toolbar. We're going to select the whole group in here. This is both the masking, the image, and the PowerPoint in here. And we're gonna come to Home, click on Arrange, Align, and Align Center. Something important that you must notice is that we have Align Selected Objects as the one currently chosen. If you don't have it, then it's going to create a mess. It's going to align everything to the slide. Click on Align Center, and this aligns the text right in the middle of the whole image. Our next tab would be to place the icons that we have. And for the icons, I'm going to make a separate video on how to create your own icons in PowerPoint. They look better than ones that you copy and paste from the internet. And I've also seen that there are PowerPoint slides that are for free that they give you already predefined icons. And for this video, I'm going to make a small exception. This is not completely necessary. I'm just going to use what Microsoft recently introduced in the recent version of PowerPoint. Again, this is not completely necessary. I'm going to show you how to create your own icons in a separate video. You click here on icons, wait for it to load, and let's look for, it can be anything. We're just going to try. You put something that makes it more relatable to what you're doing. Select 3 icons, click insert, and you see that we have these 3 icons that are completely dark. Fortunately for us, Microsoft made them as graphical, or I think these are SVGs, which you can come in the graphics fill and fill them with the color. And this one we're going to fill it with white. See that we already have it selected, and we're going to make them bigger. Let's select them all and make them bigger at the same time so we have the same proportions. Gonna click here, click again, and notice again that these 3 icons are not correctly positioned. What we can do is select them all, go to Home, or if you have the format open, it also shows you the Align pane, and click on Align, distribute horizontally, and you can see that they somewhat get distributed. We can do spread them out a little bit. Spread them out. Line, distribute horizontally, and nope. You see what happens when we have slide selected? Undo. Align selected objects. Aligns, distribute horizontally. Okay. Well, I'm not entirely convinced by the. We have to manually move them a little bit. So the distances from here and here are the same throughout all the elements. It's just nitpicking a little bit. Once we have all these 3 icons, we can make them smaller or bigger according to what we feel like. We can make them slightly smaller, make them fit, and now we can add some text into it. Insert, shapes, text, credit card, credit card, payments. Note that you can center the text if you click on Control E or Command E in Mac, and that will automatically center it for you. I'm gonna copy, paste it, put it in the middle, cash payments, and I honestly do not know what is this. Let's say books, whatever. And there we have this part. If you don't like the color and you want to have some sort of tone in here, you can also click on solid fill and change for a different one, and you can see it adds some toning into the image. Try to see which one you like the most and the one that's most fitting. It can give you a completely different feeling for it. For the left bar that we have in here, the first thing we do is go to insert, shapes, click on rectangle, and draw a rectangle like this. Once you have this, you are going to create another rectangle and draw it on top of the one, kind of creating the same effect that we did on the last one, but on a lower scale. The next thing is to have a different color for this one and this one. We're doing this because the bigger rectangle, we're going to fill it with white. And now you may understand why we chose to have a different color in the background versus having it completely white. You can see that now we can easily distinguish between the white rectangle and the background. We're going to fit this here, come to the background, remove the outlines, so it becomes more natural. Now you see that it's kind of blending in. And we're going to click again on the background. We're going to add some shape effects, and we're going to add some shadow in here. I'm going to talk later about material design, which I heavily inspire a lot of my presentations with. And the shadow effect that they apply is pretty damn cool. We're going to right click the image and we're going to click on format shape. This is going to add this panel in here, and in previous versions of PowerPoint you're going to have a window, but it doesn't matter. Come here in effects and the shadow. We are going to tweak this a little bit so it does not look more this harsh and make it more subtle. Probably going to add some blur. It's going to make it blur. See how? Okay, it's starting to look good. Blur, transparency. Okay. Okay. I think this is going to work. See something? If we didn't add the text in here, the rectangle in here, and we just apply a shadow, it would look awkward. We also extend this whole rectangle to the top, so it creates some sort of uniform shadow effect on the back. When we have accomplished that, we can click here, right click, edit text, and set solution. Again, we can change the fill of the text for something different. This blue doesn't look bad. And now we can add another picture in here. Come back to our browser, look for a different picture. Let's say somebody's driving. Text and driving, yes. Paste it back to the PowerPoint slide. And again, let's shrink it. One personal suggestion, one personal preference, never disproportionate the image because that's just going to make it look bad. I rather, in my personal opinion, is just to stretch the image and then right click on it and crop it, or go to format, crop, and play along with it. It's just gonna look way better. Once we have this, you see how the whole PowerPoint starting to look good. We can add our logo. I'm just gonna copy and paste it, or add some text to it, or maybe you want to add another icon. Let me see, download, fly, or whatever. You add whatever. It can be 3, it can be 1, it can be 2. It's always good to have elements of 3. Good psychological effect for it. And whenever you have a white background, never use black. don't never use it. Use a darker gray. It looks much better. For example, here it's not completely dark. Play things a little bit. Okay, this one. It looks more subtle. And remember, if you want to have them equally distributed, go back to Home, Arrange, Align, and Distribute horizontally. If you want to make this faster, as you probably going to be using this a lot, use right click on it and click on Add to Quick Access Toolbar. This is just going to give it to you right here. Believe me, it's a huge time saver. Once you have it, these three are going to be distributed, and we just place it in the middle, at the middle. There we go. And with this, we conclude the slide. That's it. Click in here. You got a nice slideshow. It does not look loaded, and just customize it as however you want. If you love this video, hit that like button, click subscribe, and comment on what are you going to use this for.